And we're live. Today I have the honor of interviewing G Money, an actor, director, screenwriter, content creator. G Money has been in movies and TV shows such as The Steve Harvey Show, George Lopez. We're going to bring him in and talk to him about his career as an actor here in Los Angeles and what he's got coming next. Let's bring him in. There we are, brother. Thank you so much for being on the Cristopolis Show. Man, you've had an incredibly busy week. I've seen you on set. Talk to us about what you've got going on.
Man, there's so much going on. I got blessed. I just got to do a State Farm commercial, and it kind of got me out there because I've been up and down in my career, my life, and right now it's good times for me.
Yeah. I saw the State Farm commercial. I used a little bit of the clip when we did the sizzle for the promo. That was awesome when you're the wrestler, right? Can you talk to us about what it was like to be in the State Farm commercial, what it was like to put on the Lucha Libre get up? Tell us about it.
Hey, well, I got I fell into that, because you're everywhere. You try to be everywhere, right? And unfortunately, I wish I had two of me. I'd be able to do a lot more, but I fell onto this audition. It was kind of a surprise to me. I got on there. I gave it my all. There was 50,000 people going for the same role, and what happened is they called me for the second audition. I went in, and believe it or not, I actually where I parked at was about 4 blocks from where I was supposed to do my audition, and before I actually did it, I actually for 2 to 3 days straight, I almost starved myself. I worked on the gym for 3 days, day and night. And the day of the audition, I went with a mask on. I brought my own mask, and I had no shirt on, and I was walking down the street with no shirt on and a mask.
In LA, you only see that in LA. Bro.
Yeah, only in LA. And I literally had people pulling over asking to take pictures with me, and it was hard to get to my audition, before I even got there,
Where did you have the mask? Did you just happen to have that because you're into it?
No, I just got a good friend of mine. He designed a mask for me, and just my own creation kind of deal. Was a blue mask, but I ended up wearing a blue. They wanted a red one because it was State Farm. But yeah, I pretty much whatever you do, you got to give your whole into it. You just got to go with it,
Wow.
And that's what I try to do, even for this role, like I tell you. So then I went down there, and I guess their final was 5,000 people, and at the very end there was 5 people left.
Wow.
So it was me and a few others I saw. Some guys were taller, some guys were pretty big, whatever. And you get a little intimidated, but you just keep on going with it,
Yeah.
And at the end, you just, out of experience or whatever, you just got to keep on pushing and do what you want to do, and that's it. Always believe, because I'm like this. Everybody thinks like there's a certain height or a certain weight you're supposed to be, or a certain look. There's a look for everything. There's short people, there's fat people, not to talk smack, but there's room for everybody. So
Absolutely.
There's no perfect candidate. Some people say, oh, he's 6'5" and he's huge and he's gonna get all the roles. It's not necessarily true. You can't fit every role.
Yeah, that's really good, bro. Thank you for sharing that experience.
Yeah.
Can you, let's maybe rewind a little bit and talk about when you first started getting into acting. Can you talk to us about, well, maybe first your passion for acting? Did you always want to be an actor? Is this something that happened a little bit later on? Talk to us about your experience.
Okay, well, you always hope, you always see other people doing their thing or whatever. And I got motivated with a lot of big actors already. I got blessed because my dad, rest in peace, he died last year, but he was into the entertainment industry. He worked for Sony Columbia Pictures, and he was just one of the ones that brought in the props, and he kind of worked with a mailroom kind of deal. But every year we had what was called Save the Earth walkathon.
Yeah.
And we would walk with Party of Five with Tori Spelling from 90210.
Yeah.
I got blessed to meet all these people as I was a kid, and always remember, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I was the type to go in there, instead of being nervous or shy, I go and talk to him. I get to know him. I got to talk to Roseanne Barr. I got to talk to Fred Savage from the Wonder Years. I got to meet a lot of amazing people that really gave me motivation. So it kind of gave me the hunger that I always wanted to do, be in the entertainment business, you know.
Wow.
And but pretty much, I didn't do much as a kid, just did my thing or whatever.
But you were
And then
around it. You would like see these stars. You'd see them on TV, then you'd see them in real life, and they would say, "Hey, this is possible."
yes, exactly. You know, and I got to meet Robert De Niro. He was a small little guy, and you know, a lot of good people in my life. You know, so it kind of like the nerve kind of thing went away, which was good for me.
Yeah.
And so I always try to get in there, but I never like everybody else. I didn't know exactly how to go about it, you know.
Yeah.
And even now, it's funny after maybe 15, 20 years in this business, it's still the same thing. A lot of people don't know how, and the people that know don't share, you know, and they don't want to help others, you know. And that's what I can't understand, and that's what I don't like about this industry, because I'm the opposite. You know, I'm like happy to be where I'm at. You know, all these people have great stories, and they're like, oh, I came from the bottom, but once they get to the top, they forget everybody else, you know, and that's my hard thing. That's hard to understand, you know, but
That's really, yeah.
yeah, but for the most part, you know, like I always been into working out or whatever. I was in the service, I was in the Marines, in the Navy, whatever, and I was with a buddy of mine, and they came aboard this ship. I was on the tour, and they just happened to film this movie, and it was actually called A Thousand Men and a Baby. And the producer just liked me, a director, and he was like, "Hey, come over here." I was like, "All right," talking to me, yeah, yeah. So I went over there, and I ended up getting good parts in the movie, and it ended up being a pretty big movie.
Was that
So,
your
um,
first movie?
yeah, that was pretty much my first movie I ever did, and that was like back in the '90s, believe it or not, you know.
So, so you grew up in a household where your dad worked in the industry. So because of that, you grew up going to events where you would see people that were on TV. The Wonder Years was one of the biggest shows.
He's
90210 was one of the
a big
biggest
director
shows.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Right.
yeah.
And then you're in the Marines and they happen to be shooting a movie where you're stationed. The director pulls you in. You wind up being cast while you're a Marine. You were destined for this.
Yeah, pretty much. And ever since I've been up and down on my role, but for a little bit, you know, we all fall off or whatever. But it's just your calling, you know, and you know what you're meant to be and where you're meant to be. So you just keep on pushing for what you want, you know, and that's what I try to push everybody to do that. You know, don't lose your hope, don't lose your focus. Keep on asking. Doors will open for you. You know, because that's how I am. I just keep on asking. I keep on pushing, and I find the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you grow up in LA?
Yeah, I was born in LA. I was born in Chicago, but I was since I was 3 years old. I came to LA, and I pretty much I've been in LA all my life. I've been back and forth from IE to LA because I'm kind of like I go to events. I try to be everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like pretty much everybody knows me from LA to Inland Empire, you know.
That's cool, man. That's really, really
Yeah.
good. You've had 20 years as an actor. You grew up in a household that was involved in the entertainment industry. You grew up in Los Angeles, entertainment capital of the world. People come here to Los Angeles from all over the country, from other countries to make it in TV, to be in a movie, to make it now on social media as an influencer. What advice would you give people if they're just starting out, if they're trying to get on a TV show or they're trying to get into a movie, an indie movie? What advice do you have for folks?
To be honest with you, I would just do the basics, you know your worth. You know what I mean? I don't see nothing wrong with helping with student movies because it gives you a little bit of experience and footage for you to be able to make a reel and show. But you know, just go with the basics. You know, make sure that you have a good reel to show your experience because that's what they're going to want, and that's what I'm kind of overwhelmed with as I hop in and out of different agents because unfortunately in this industry it's not just you just hop on set and hey, I'm ready to go. You know, it's like you have to find an agent or you have to have somebody that's going to represent you and kind of sell you, but you have to have proof of like things that you've done, you know, and probably that's the hardest part. So if anything, I would take acting classes. I would start doing background. And I'm going to throw this out there because a lot of people don't throw it out there.
Hmm.
Start with background. You know, that's the best way
Yeah.
to get your foot in the door and meet people and converse with celebrities that you would never even be able to get in contact with. And what you do is you go to central casting. You know, this from the bottom of my heart, I'm telling you, because a lot of these actors, they will not tell you that because they don't want the industry to flood and they don't want to
Right.
like lose work. But I believe like there's enough work for everybody. There's enough room for everybody. If you're gonna shine for a part, you're gonna shine for a part, and that's it. But go to Central Casting. You know, it's in Burbank. It's an agency, and they basically they're probably one of the biggest in the
Yeah.
world, and they don't charge you no fee. They don't charge you nothing. They don't have no agency, no agent or nothing. It's just an agency. You go in there once they accept you, and you basically do like a W-2 form, and it's even good for you because you can do it on the side while you're doing whatever job you're doing. And if
Yeah.
you're, let's say you're a mechanic or you're a construction worker, whatever you're doing, well, they text you, right? And they say, this role is available. Are you available to work this role? Now, if you're busy, if you're working, you just say, I'm not available. If you're available, you do it, and bam, there you go. And they'll give you the details. If they choose you, and that's like your step in the door. That's how you do it,
Wow.
pretty much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. Just get in, get your foot in the door, meet people, learn, build a reel.
Yeah, just don't be lazy. Take the steps, It takes a lot of work. You got to go to acting classes. You got to do a lot of auditions. You got to go, there's different sites you can go on. There's Frontier. There's like a lot of different Actors Access and stuff where you could find like your own kind of work and stuff like that. And you just got to go with that. And you got to keep auditioning. See, that's a lot of people don't do. They don't follow through. They're like, oh, I'm so hungry. I'm so motivated. But sometimes I'm driving 100 miles to get to my audition or to my next job. And it's not easy. There's a lot of work you do got to put into this.
Yeah. Is there a lot of times, you go to an audition and you put in a lot of effort and maybe you don't get the role and does that happen?
Well, see, the thing with this industry is that not everything is going to be the big break. Everybody thinks that the next one's going to be the big break. It's not always going to be like that. Sometimes you're going to go and it's just a little production and they don't amount to nothing. So even if you give it your all, sometimes nothing happens of it. I've been on some productions that look pretty big and they spent all this money and it was just somebody that was motivated to make an amazing movie and they had, I mean, rented houses and mansions and this stuff, and we're acting and giving our heart out, and all of a sudden you're like, a couple years down the line, you're like, where's the movie at? Oh, well, we didn't have enough funds, we didn't finish. So don't be discouraged. You just got to keep on pushing. You know what I mean? Because there, you don't know what the next project is that's going to get you there.
Good. That's good. You've been in the industry long enough that you've seen the industry change, right? You've been 20 years working as an actor. This is, before Instagram and social media had the impact that it currently has. How has it changed? Right? Like, before we didn't have a camera on us all the time. Now we do. I see you doing a lot of social media content in addition to the movies and commercials. Talk to us about what it's been like to branch off into also being a content creator.
Well, what happened is that back in the days, even when because I started on Central Casting back in the days, and back in the days, just to make a long story short, I had to actually wait in line the first day I got there. I got there at 8 in the morning, and there was more than 1,000 people there. Right? I get there, and pretty much I'm trying to find out what's going on here, and they're like, okay, you guys are all. We only had a certain amount. We're gonna choose. Everybody go home. And I'm like, damn, I drove from far. I got there like 7, 8 in the morning. It's rough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to make a long story short, I just ended up making friends with a security guard I'll never forget about. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna give you the scoop. Come here at 3 in the morning, wait in line, come with your best suit, and try it again. And he gave me good little tippers. I went the next day, I camped out, and that's how I started my career pretty much. So nowadays, it's so much easier because of, like you said, the camera and social media and everything else. Now you pretty much, it makes it so much easier where you don't have to wait the line. You just go to the website, you try to make an appointment. Once you get an appointment, then you're in, they call you in, and it's so much more simple, and that's the same thing for like auditions and stuff. And you pretty much, you do what we're doing now pretty much, and you act it out right there, in a Zoom call kind of deal. And I just got blessed, like there's all these industries that pick you up because when you can play multiple characters and you can play a cop, a gangster, everything in between, whatever, then more doors open for you. So don't just get stuck on one thing, and at first I was trying to do a serious actor to be a cop, but it just ended up that I got blessed. And my agency, they called me in to do this skit with someone that ended up being an amazing guy, and he ended up being the owner of Content Creators, and he basically owns some really nice homes that he gives his whole heart out to let all these content creators create, and he lets us stay there, he lets us create. Everything is called Content Creators, and his name's Andy. He's an amazing person. He's like a regular person with a lot of money. Let's just say it like that. And I got blessed. They accepted me pretty much in the family, and I just that's where I'm at now. I'm content creating, because that's how society is. It's about creating content, and that's how it gets you out there, and that's how it gets you more popular and more people, producers, directors know you. Because unfortunately, it's about followers, and you know how it works. Pretty much. So
Yeah. Now that's really interesting, and I think what's really cool about your career is how you started back when you would have to drive down to Central Casting, wait in line, and get selected, camp out at 3 in the morning, and now you're in the era where you could do it like over like a Zoom call. So that's
yes.
that's the full trajectory. In
Well, yeah.
addition, there's the Central Casting website, but in addition to that, are there any other websites that you recommend to aspiring actors?
Where there's casting networks, there's Frontier, there's Backstage. Yeah, Backstage, Actors Access. There's so many. You just gotta look them up, and don't waste your money and time. Some are worth it, some aren't. So you gotta kind of ask around what's best for you, and what you're trying to do. If you're just remember one thing, and I learned it kind of the hard way. Don't get stuck just doing background all your life. You want to step it up. Eventually, you want to get lines, and you want to get to that next level. So you don't get stuck on the background thing all the time, and be happy doing like music videos and just oh, that's all background stuff. You don't really count. You want to get into more major roles with more bigger actors, and then once you get friends in the industry and you learn how to do all this, then you can do your own thing.
Yeah, that's really good. You've been on TV and in movies. So you've been in movies like Bang Bang Betty, Valerie's Revenge, and Fight for Love, and then you've been on TV shows
Yeah.
like NCIS and Steve Harvey Show. Is there a big difference between being on a movie set and being on a TV set?
Um, it's basically the same thing. Like I tell you, you're gonna learn that through central casting. That it's all the same. People are the same, and it's only about traveling. I actually have a movie coming out that people don't know about. That's actually playing in Japan right now and overseas. It's called The Omnicron Killer, and I play a detective in it. And it's not released over here, but I made friends with the director, a really great person, and they flew me and my wife out there to do play a part in this movie, and it's with Bei Ling. She's very big. Phyllis Rose, Lynn Laurie, Robert Crow, and a lot of big actors are in there. And so I'm a detective. It's just a killer in New York, pretty much. And the one of the main detectives trying to find this guy, kind of deal. And it's going to be playing over here pretty soon. And also another pretty good movie that I'm with Julia Roberts and her brother, and couple other big actors that's coming out soon. So in the last maybe 5 years, I've been pretty much pushing it. And that's what you need to do is just push it. Um, I was on 911, a TV show just recently, and I made friends with the lead actor, and he gave me some good words, and he's good people, and so you don't know the possibilities. You just gotta keep on going.
Yeah. Have you found that knowing people is what opens most of the doors, or is it, just showing up every day? Which one has kind of been the one that's really worked for you?
Well, look at I made friends with some pretty good actors right now, but it's nor here nor there. So like I know Noel G pretty good. He's a amazing person. And Emilio Rivera, he's another one. Danny Trejo, very, very great people. But if they don't, they get this all the time. They get everybody, oh, give me a break, give me a break, give me a
Every day.
break. And they get tired of hearing that. Yeah, every day, all day. And they get tired of it, and they can only help so many people. So pretty much they want to see you create the action and you be hungry enough to where they're like, okay, then let me kind of point them the right direction or do what I can do for them or whatever. But you got to make your own effort. I mean, you can't just. And I always been um, said the same thing. You can't just wait with your hands open and hope that it falls in your lap because it's not going to fall in your lap. You know what I mean? The guys that get chosen back in the days, the actors that were nobodies and they just became somebody overnight. That's hard to do. You got to work your way through the industry. That's how it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. So you shared with us you have the Omicron Killer coming out. You also have a movie with Julia Roberts and her brother that's
Yeah, I
in the
can't
work.
disclose the name on that one, but
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't disclose it.
Yeah.
How does that work? When you work as an actor, and some of these projects could take a year, they could take more. You know, do they tell you like, okay, you cannot talk about this, you can't release anything about this until it's out? How does that kind of behind the scenes, what you're allowed to share, not share, how does that work with the cast?
Uh, it's pretty frustrating sometimes. Like I tell you, some projects make it, some don't.
Yeah.
Some take years, and they just never come to screen. And I was actually in this really big commercial. It's called Unidos. I don't know if you heard about it. It's pretty much all the raza and all of his, people in general.
Yeah.
We come together. It's
No, I
called,
don't know about
and
it. Can you tell me
again,
about it? Is it like a LA, or is it like a
it's
national?
like a national thing, and it's pretty much you'll see it's just called Unidos. That means we all come together kind of deal. And I was in that commercial, but at the end I got cut out. So it is what it is. And the funny thing is I went through the whole filming process. I did all that stuff. So you never know. It was just like everything. I was on an I was on the Super Bowl commercial. It's called He Gets Us. It just came out in the Super Bowl this last time.
Yeah.
And right now it's I got blessed on that because I got it through my agency, whatever. And I didn't think it was going to be so big. We filmed it in LA. I was just a cop. And I don't know if you've seen it's called He Gets Us. And basically it was before the Usher halftime show on the Super Bowl, this last Super Bowl that came. And it was just a stream of different pictures. And at the end it says, God didn't teach hate, he washed feet. And it gives a really good message. And for a whole year, it's all over the commercials. It's on the billboards. My buddy just called me from Las Vegas, and he was like, he's the one that told me, he was like, it's on the
It's
strip.
on the
It's all over the
strip,
strip.
it's on the billboard.
Yeah. And then my other buddy in New York, he's like, oh, it's right there where the ball comes down on Times Square, whatever. It's right there on a big old billboard. And I'm like, man, I'm honored to see all that stuff. So you just got to keep pushing. And like I tell you, you get a lot of ideas. You just keep on. You get hungry and you want to help other people,
Yeah.
and eventually people will get warmed up to you. It just takes time. Just be patient.
That's good. Yeah, I saw the commercial, and then on your social media I kind of saw the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Did you know when you were shooting that commercial that it was going to be a commercial for the Super Bowl?
Um. Well, they had told me, but I didn't think it was going to be so big.
Yeah.
And I actually had, well, I found out a little bit right before that that I was going to be on the Super Bowl, and I had a Super Bowl party, and I invited a lot of people, and it was pretty amazing thing, you know. But there was this is my second Super Bowl commercial. I was on another one with Rihanna, and it was during her halftime show, and we're football fans pretty much, and we're singing phrases of her song on the Super Bowl commercial, which was that was pretty amazing also. So you just
Cool.
don't know the yeah what's gonna happen, you know.
That's
It
awesome.
just
For the
motivates
Super
you
Bowl
for the next
party,
pro.
you hadn't seen the commercial yet. You watched it live on TV
Yeah,
during the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah, pretty much.
Wow. So you're
Well,
there with your loved ones, and then the commercial comes on, and it's like boom.
yeah. Well, what it was is during the halftime show, she was pregnant and she was dancing on stage, and then in the back where they have that sign that they're playing the commercial at the same time because we're kind of singing behind her, kind of deal. That's what it
Mm,
was. And then now it's like on Apple TV and Apple Music right now, so it's stuck there for life. So that's a good thing, you know.
that's really cool. And then the
Yeah,
one that just, the one with the message, he washed feet. That one, you hadn't seen that commercial either, and you had a Super Bowl party, and you're watching the game, and then the commercial comes on.
yeah. It was a very exciting thing for me because this was my second Super Bowl commercial, and this was actually more huger than the first one, I
Yeah,
think. And it's I like what it signifies because I'm a true believer that you gotta help your fellow man. You know what I mean? Life's so short, and you don't know how long we're gonna be on this life. Everybody's like, they might be a jerk to you, and you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. You know,
yeah,
and life is so small. It's like it's a small circle, you know, and you don't know what's gonna happen. You just don't. So every day I try to help somebody or do what I can, and I'm gonna leave religion aside. It's besides religion, it's just generally being a good person and trying to help other
yeah,
people get where you're at because there's plenty of room for everybody and everybody wants to have a legacy in their life, so it doesn't hurt, you know, to spread the love, you know.
yeah. No, it's a beautiful message in that commercial, and you play a police officer, and the message is one of humility and of loving your brother,
Yeah, exactly.
in that commercial.
That's why I
You
like it.
play a police officer. Yeah, you play a police officer often. When was the first time that was there a moment that was the first time that you became a police officer, and then like you just look good in a uniform, so you kept getting roles like that? Was there one specific moment?
Well, I don't know, I'm more like the gangster kind of guy, to be honest with you. And I was born in like, people don't know a lot about me, but I was born in the streets of LA, and I get along with some of the big homies, and you know, I've been around, you know, so it was kind of hard for me to change to the other side
Yeah,
and be the officer instead of the, you know, the criminal
yeah. But
or
cops
the
are
homie
tough
or
too.
whatever.
Cops are tough too. It's like a thin line.
Yeah, yeah. So, but I've been comfortable with it, you know, and like I tell you, in this business, you got to be open minded and learn to play a little bit of everything, because at the end of the day, it's what the fans want to see, you know,
Yeah,
and what the directors and everybody else wants to see, and so and it gives you experience to do different things. You learn more, and that's where I'm at. You know, I've learned a lot through the years, and as a matter of fact, right now I'm writing a book, so I'm really excited about. A lot of people don't know, and I already have a good deal going on with Amazon and Barnes and Noble, so it's going to get on there, and hopefully, if everything goes right, I'm writing a good script, and by I don't want to say exactly, but I'm saying maybe February of next year. I'm gonna have a movie coming out, and it's gonna be on Netflix because I already have a deal with Netflix. That I can pretty much in and Amazon Prime maybe and Tubi. You know.
wow. Congratulations on the book. Congratulations on the connection with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Tubi for the upcoming movie. I imagine that as the writer, you will write a role for yourself. You will be in this movie that you're
Oh, of
writing.
course, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be one of the actors in it. I'm blessed. I don't want to give away too much, but If everything goes right, I already have a little. I'm working things together with Noel G. He's probably going to be in the movie. Panchito Gomez, he's from American Me. It was before it was Edward James Olmos. It was American Me. He was in Juvenile Hall.
Oh,
Um,
oh,
some
the young
yeah,
Edward James,
the
the
young
one
version.
right
Yeah,
where he turns bad.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, where he graduates to the penitentiary, and some cast from Mi Vida Loca.
Wow.
They're gonna be in my movie. Hopefully, I love them to death. They're like family. They're good people with me, and I have other good actors that hopefully if it works out, they're all gonna be in there, and I'm gonna cast a lot of like just regular people in the public, that I get along with and I see every day because I want to try to give the regular person a chance and not just people that have been there all their lives, you know?
Yeah. Man, that sounds really exciting. I'm really excited about the movie you have coming up. All of the people that you mentioned are icons in
Oh, yeah, for sure.
at least the Latino, cinema. I know I grew up watching movies like Mi Vida Loca, American Me,
Training Day. Yeah.
Training Day, absolutely.
Yeah.
What movies, there's those movies we just mentioned. What movies influenced you, did you love when you were growing up and kind of motivated you to be an actor?
Uh, well, I've been really, I'm more of like part of I don't know if you call it the hood, but I like my basic Los Angeles down in nitty gritty. So of course, um, I just recently met Jesse Borrego from he was Crucito and Blood In Blood Out,
Wow.
and who doesn't love that movie, And he's an amazing person. He got a huge heart. That guy right there, he's so amazing. If I get lucky, I get him in my movie. So if you heard this, if you're watching this, But yeah. How do you call it? Like there's just so much motivation and so much things that I'm trying to accomplish with this movie, and it just gets me to drive that I want to keep it like the community that doesn't get hurt, and movies like La Bamba, with
Yeah.
Richie Valens, and things that really touch you that you can relate to, and not just the huge movies, if you know what I mean, kind of deal.
Yeah. Movies that happen in the neighborhoods, not the movies that are
There you go.
these big major budget, a lot of things that are happening on the east side, right? And stories that aren't told as much.
Yeah, pretty much, that we all run into common with, and it's not just the big, tough gangster shooting movies, but more like in common with like families and decisions we make and things we do in life, and that reflect on us, and there's a lot of incidents that happen in the world, and they make an impact on your life, so we got to think about that sometimes, and that's what this movie's gonna kind of make you aware to.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want you to give too much up because I know that you're working on it, but that sounds really
Yeah.
exciting. You
Yeah.
you had the opportunity of being on the George Lopez show. Can you talk to us about that?
um I got to meet George Lopez. He's a wonderful individual, but I met him when I was younger. He used to actually, he's always been, I know people say certain things about him or whatever, but I don't care. I'm not one of those, I'm the person that I judge people for how they treat me.
Yeah.
And that's what I go with. And, he used to be on the Comedy Store on Sunset. I don't know if you know that
Yeah.
place, Pauly Shore's mom owns that, and I was fortunate enough to meet Pauly Shore, George Lopez, Carlos Mencias. This goes on and on, and that's when there were smaller comedians. So that just shows that everybody started in a path, so
Yeah.
you can never lose hope, kind of deal.
Yeah. That's cool. And then you also were on the Steve Harvey Show. Can you talk to us about that experience?
That was breathtaking. That was amazing because Steve Harvey, he had a hard journey, he slept in his car for 3 years, and uh, he was trying to make it like all of us, and that just shows that such a nice, humble guy that he is. When you meet him in person, he's such a nice guy, and also his driver. Now he drives around the Rolls Royce, and he has the same driver for 15 years.
Wow.
But he started out of nowhere, and now he says a joke that says, "Why does he have more restrooms in his house than he has rooms?" He says, "Because when he was poor, he used to have no restroom to go in. You know what I mean? Or just leave it at that. You know, so it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? It's life. You know."
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome, man. Was it a great experience to be on the show?
It was a great experience for sure, you know, to see such a great, humble man. And he gives you a lot of words of encouragement. And he's just so good at speaking and
Yeah,
charisma and smooth. And you could tell why he's where he's at. But that inspires you to keep on pushing. And like things like that is what have pushed me to the next level, you know?
mm,
Yeah.
that's really good. Yeah, you you were recently in a show that looked wildly entertaining, but it looked like it was hard to do also, called 7 Days In.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us what that show was about, what you had to go through, and then, some of what you did on that show?
All right. You know about that. Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I was blessed to be on that show. I didn't know that Kai Cenat was so huge. You know, this guy's a youngster. I mean, he's like 25, the most lovable person. He's such a sweetheart. And this guy's like a
Wow.
multimillionaire, you know? And when I was there, he was just such a cool person. I didn't even realize how big of a person he was, but that's just the way he carries himself, you know. Um, he has a really great personality, and he's a good person like that. And it made me realize a lot of things in life that you can't judge a book by its cover, you know. And not everybody is a jerk or hard to work with. Some people, he made everything flow by, and it was hard for all of us because you know anybody to leave your career behind, your family, your loved ones behind. We were actually really like in jail in that thing for 7 days,
Yeah, so you
and
go in and you're like in there like you can't leave.
yeah, and you know, there's cameras on us even when we're snoring in our sleep. We're taking a shower, everything, and there's like 200,000 people a day that are watching us streaming live. So and
Wow.
yeah, so anything that happened, they were like G Money, like 200,000 times. You're like, whoa, that's a shocker. You know what I mean? And
Could
that really got it.
you see the comments when you were in there?
Yeah, yeah, you can see the comments. You know, it's just like a regular comment board, but he's the one talking to them or whatever. They're his fans or whatever. But it's just amazing. I don't know if you've seen what he did lately. Not to get off the subject, but he's such a big influencer. Besides doing stuff with some big celebrities, he actually went to New York and he was like, I'm gonna give free PlayStations to everybody. It came out in the news, and there was like a riot that appeared because there was so many fans. You know, this guy has over 10 million people show up. You know, I mean, it was crazy. You know, the youngsters were throwing bottles. It was getting really crazy. They had cops, everything, and then Tyson got arrested, but of course, they dropped the charges the next day. But I mean, it just shows the power of this guy
Wow.
and such a sweetheart because he's such a nice guy. He does a little bit of acting and he does mostly, you know, he's on Twitch. That's where he's really at or whatever. And yeah, I can't say enough about him and his homie. He always says, "Give me my money." So you know, yeah, it's just a thing. They're good people. They're good people for sure. Yeah,
That's
give me my
dope,
money
man.
for sure. Yeah.
There was that one part where they brought like the young kids in that were trying to be tough, but then you guys were like the grown men in you know like prison clothing. What was
Yeah,
that like? You were like, because you're a good tough guy.
yeah, that was good. I liked it because those tough kids weren't ready for it, and I guess they were told that they were going to be in a commercial or something, and then they ended up coming in with us, and we pretty much it was like a scared straight situation,
Yeah,
and we actually, you know, we had to kind of put them in their place because they were like, you know, hard to
yeah.
take care of. Their parents are having problems with them, school, everywhere. They're smoking weed. They're doing a lot of messed up stuff. And, you know,
They're
we're
going
just
on the
trying to get
wrong
them there.
path. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
them on
yeah.
the right one.
Yeah, and it felt good for me to at least give my little bit to try to get these guys straight. You know, even if one kid, you know, learns from the experience, it's worth it, you know?
Yeah.
It really is. and that's what I really liked about that. When Kai did that, I mean, we had Blueface, we had a lot of big people there, and it was fun. And we threw them down, and we took their stuff, and we are giving them the whole jail experience and everything. But I think that was my favorite part, when we were able to influence these kids a little bit, and hopefully maybe they choose a better path, because we all been there, done that, and some of us are better than others, and it's we're blessed to be in this path. And I know homies that are in jail right now that wish they had the chance to be like us and be out in the streets, pushing our dreams and stuff.
Yeah. And homies that didn't make it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
You were recently in a movie called Bang Bang Betty's Valerie's Revenge, right? And you're playing a tough guy in that one,
Yeah.
right? Tell us about that movie set, that movie, how that opportunity came about.
Um, Alex, he's a director of the movie. You can find him on Instagram also. He was very creative, very talented. He has a lot of good movies coming out. He's a veteran already in the movie field, and I got blessed that he chose me for that role. And hopefully, I'm going to be in some other of his movies. And yeah, I was just pretty much a drug dealer, working for the cartel. A little bit of everything. And for you guys that did see it, I get my head blown off at the end or whatever. So it's pretty cool. It was a good experience, and you know, s- I'm trying to open my roles to play a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So even on the George Lopez show, I was a dad in the George Lopez show. I did 2 appearances on that, and then so I was in SWAT team. I was a gangster. So I try not to get typecasted, but if it happens, it happens. But I try to be open to play everything. Like I tell you, I was a police officer, and that movie with the Omnicron killer. I was a detective. I'm an asshole detective. Excuse me. I don't know if I
Oh
can
yeah, yeah.
cut. Sorry about that, but
This is going good. Yeah,
yeah,
but you're like a tough detective
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
cool.
just hard because when you watch those movies and you watch other actors or whoever you watch, it kind of reaches home because that's kind of like the way they are. Like you have to play something that you're comfortable with, and that's who you are. You know what I mean? It kind of reflects back on who you are.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And there's another movie that I was, because in my research I got to watch your movies, and I was watching Fight for Love, right? And you got a part in that also. Tell us about that movie and your part in that and how that came about.
It was a good movie because it's another thing where we influence a little youngster to get to the next level. I got to work with some good actors on there. Unfortunately, they're also in the business like me, and they're pushing hard. Like Scar, for example, he's one of them, and a couple other good actors that we're always out there, and we sacrifice a lot with our families and our loved ones, and my wifey that's always behind the scenes, always hanging in there, and just keep on pushing. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some horrible shoots that are like all night long, and you're exhausted. You're only working on 2 hours sleep. I was like I tell you, I was in this music video. It's called with YG. It's called I Dance, and you can see it on YouTube. And I made friends with the director. I'm a pretty friendly guy. Pretty open,
Yeah.
whatever. And then he was like, "Hey, you got any buddies?" Yeah, yeah, bring them on. So I bring them on, and I bring not like 10 guys, 20 guys. I bring a lot of people. They're like, "All right, bring them all on." But so you never know who's gonna give you a chance, and I'm one of those guys. I'm always gonna think of the person that was cool with me in the past, that supported me, and I want to do the same love back to. You know what I mean? That's just the way I am. Yeah, I love you too, babe. I know she's watching.
That's
Um,
awesome. Now, your wife is also an actress, right?
yeah, a little bit. She's a little nervous in front of the camera, but she's getting there. But she does background work, and she got to work with Felissa Rose, which is a big actress, and she was in a movie that came out of Tubi first. It was called Terrifier.
Yeah.
And I guess that movie did so big. It's about a crazy ass clown, and it did so big. They did part two, Terrifier 2, and it went huge. It was in the movie theaters, and it was like it made like $20 million.
Wow.
So on a
People
small
like
budget, it did such
clowns,
a big
man.
thing.
All that
Yeah.
scary stuff.
Yeah, and we got blessed that that actress came to our movie and actually was in our movie. So if you're listening, Felissa Rose, she was such another sweetheart. She was so cool, and my wife was right along with her. They're playing the basically bringing back the dead, kind of like scary kind of role, kind of thing, and
Yeah.
so yeah, we've been blessed, little by little. She gets in there, even in Bang Bang Betty, she's a little druggie in the back with like a needle in her arm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we do a little bit of everything, and you've seen her in the Judge Mathis show. She's good, she's able to play different roles, and that's what it's about, playing different roles and being open minded, and I'm pretty much down for everything as long as it's not, low. I'm a man, you know where I'm
Yeah.
at, but I'm just saying, you know, I try to stay solid, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah. You're down to work on different characters, different types of. You're not typecast into one specific role.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm pretty open minded, and I try to go everywhere. I was on a music video with two music videos actually with Marca. Well, I mean with what do you call it? Well, Marca MP. That's one. I'm in their brand new video that came out, and Fuerza Regida. They're like a popular Mexican group, Spanish group, and they're really popular in their fire, And I was in two music videos with
Wow.
them. If you look at the Fuerza Regida has uh, a video is called Hardy Quinn, and it's just me, Scarn, and like two other females. And you could see when he first comes out, he's handcuffed and he comes out of the car. And we're like, oh, but it's cool to be featured in videos like that because that lasts forever, kind of deal.
That's really,
So you
really
got,
cool.
yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
you
for sure.
shared so much experience. You told us about, central casting, your career, how you first got started. You shared with us all these different stories about being on the set, and that you've got a book and a screenplay that you're working on with deals in place with Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Tubi. If people want to hire you, somebody sees this and they're like, I like this guy, and they go and they see kind of the clips that we did in the promo and they want to hire you, what's the right way for people to reach out to you and contact you?
Well, I'm pretty easy to reach. I'm not like one of those guys that you DM me and I won't answer back. I try to answer everybody back. My Instagram is G Money the actor. It's really easy to.
Yeah.
I made it easy as possible for everybody. So it's G Money the actor, TheActor, G Money, and yeah, you reach me that way, or I mean, my cell phone is a little bit more private, but you could DM me, and for sure I'll answer you back in a jiffy, and I'm down for whatever. Like I tell you, I was even in Los Tucanes. I don't want to forget Los Tucanes music
No, you
video.
can't forget
No,
Lucanes.
yeah, Los Tucanes were amazing too. It was an amazing experience, and I'm all over that video. So, and they're real cool friends of mine now too, by the way. Also.
That's really, really, really cool. And one last question as we wrap up. The name G Money, how did it come about? What's the background story on that?
Okay, well, a lot of people don't know this. I sell cars for a living. I'm like I don't know if you ever seen those TV shows where on storage wars and stuff like that. Well, I do the same thing with cars. I go to the dealer's auction and I fight with other dealers and I'm buying cars and trying to get the best deals and this and that. But at the same time, I'm very mental in my mind. Like I like the challenge. I like to be on top.
Mm.
I'm a poker player, so I like playing poker and I like playing chess. If anybody wants to see me, let me know. I'm on a whole nother level on that. And so that's kind of where I got my nickname G Money because I like to playing high stakes, and I just like to be in that high level all the time. And I make time. I'm an insomniac, so I don't sleep much. So I figure I'll sleep when I die. And I'm just out there pushing and pushing, always doing something. I'm in the middle of the night doing stuff. If I get a shoot at 2 in the morning, I'm on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know you guys need a car. I got you. Let me know what's up. Yeah, so I do a little bit of everything.
Thank you. What an incredible interview. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an amazing show. Thank you for reaching out for me. Thank you for everybody that supports me and is there. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you. I'm gonna keep on pushing. Like I tell you, I have my movie coming out, and I'm gonna be casting for that.
Mm,
And I have some spots that are filled, but some that are still open to my fellow loved ones out there. And I'm gonna make sure to include everybody I can, leave nobody out. Even if I have you in the background, just doing this. But you're gonna be. I want you to be seen, so that way later in life you can be proud and be like, "Dang, look, I'm in that
yeah,
movie." If anything. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. So I got love for everybody out there. And I really appreciate you guys supporting everything I do and always giving me likes and comments, and everything's welcome. I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you for having me on your show
thank you, bro.
because you have such a great
Thank
personality
you
and
so
you're cool people. Yeah, and it's a pleasure. It really is. I really
much.
appreciate you.
G Money, you've shared so much knowledge. You are an inspiration to people that are trying to become actors and actresses and, do what you've already accomplished, but you're not done. You're taking it higher. And
Yeah, for
we
sure.
appreciate that. And I can't wait to watch your journey, my bro. And I continue to bring you back in the future once the movie's out and talk about, what you're working on at that future moment in time.
Yeah, for sure. Just always keep me in mind. I'm never gonna stop. You guys need help. That little time I have, or I find time, I will help you. DM me or do whatever. Like I tell you again, I thank everybody out there. I thank my wife out there that takes care of me and hangs in there. And she's a tough one. She's a beautiful tough one, by the way. And I'm happy in life, so let's just keep on pushing. God bless everybody and their families. Anything I could do, again, hit me up. G Money, the actor, and I got you. All right, you guys take care. God bless.
God bless. Salute, my bro. Peace.
Peace.